To really take a step back from yourself a lot, you know. You make a hobby to be normal or something. Because if you don't, you lose what you started with, you know. Simple as that.
The Ferris Brothers Band, is that the original name?
It was for a little while, for want of a better name, basically. It would sound like a country western act.
With the Ferris
Had a lot of cowboys come along to our shows. You know?
When we started up, it was the Pistols and Chic. That was our two extremes of what we got into, you know. And that's how we sort of ended up what we are, you know, in a way. And
a chic Sex Pistol.
That's right. And and
we signed to an independent record company because back in the early 80s, you know, you signed with an independent record company or label, so that gave you this sort of artistic freedom, you know. And that turned out to be the biggest bunch of bullshit I've ever heard in my life, because all that meant was that they didn't have the money to let you make anything, you know, let alone artistic freedom, you know. Artistic freedom from midnight to dawn, maybe. But that was about it. And with Shabu Shabar was the first record we made after signing to a major label, and it was just a great record, you know. I mean, we could do whatever we wanted, it felt like.
It's interesting, somebody made the quote about this band that they might as well be brothers.
Yeah, we all are. I don't think there's much difference between the Ferrises and me and Pengilly and Beers and the rest of them.
I think the chemistry has probably only changed in a way that we've been together so long, you know what I mean? There's no sort of surprises anymore, you know? I mean, it's not like anyone can say anything that could really shock anybody unless they really try.
Come on, guys, I've fucking had it standing around here with you lazy bastards, you know, it's... You know, what a fucking stand on
Makes it really, really great pleasure to work with the guys too, because just everything, I don't know, it just seems to gel really quickly when we play stuff together, you know, and it's just a really nice feeling. And perhaps myself are more influenced by music that affects the feet, you know, and then Kirk's more the sort of heart or head type of guy, you know, and Michael's a bit more the sort of the body. Yeah, Michael's a bit sort of lower body.
Eat all your vegetables now.
No, I'm eating my broccoli.
Don't waste this either.
Don't waste that. You like that?
Oh, can I?
Yeah, of course, anytime.
You're my big mouth.
Ironically, one of the questions that have come at us recently is, you know, it's what's it like being with your brothers in a group? Must be really tough, must be really hard. All I can say is, actually, it's fantastic because you get to experience all of it, but you really know you're sharing with someone who cares, you know. So it's cool.
Because of the nature of us, because we're not one formula, we've had to really tour a lot, and it takes a lot longer for people to understand us and know the faces. You know, there's 6 of us for a start. So I think that, you know, the time has been worth it, because people know we're real. We're not just here to make hit singles and go back to the beach in Sydney.
No, we've just always been real rhythm boys, you know. We just love rhythm, soul, and R&B, and, you know.
We've always sort of steered quite clear of trends, but we've always had a dance element, you know, and a funky thing. We've always used sort of loops and samples for about at least the last 12 years. So for us, it's like a lot of people are catching up to us.
The electronic scene out of England, not so much the Britpop, I think, is really interesting. That's why I went to London, actually, in some ways. Originally, apart from hooking up with Andrew again, I was trying to work with a few people for a solo project and track down, you know, Tricky and Goldie and Nelly Hooper and all the Massive Attack people, and you know, which I think is pretty exciting stuff.
We started out as an old-fashioned band, in a sense.
Yeah.
We were actually a 70s band. When
in
we
the 80s, we tried to ignore. I remember the whole of the 80s, we're like, we don't want anything to do with anyone. We want to be original. That's all we want to do.
We like video. We deal with it, you know. We're not scared of it. We're not told what to do. Video, we have so many shows, and that you can just about, if the clip is good enough sort of quality to get on, you can get it on.
Some people think that you might be just this band who's just constructed for video, you know? But we're not, you know. We've been making videos way before, you know, for more than, it must be 12, 13 years.
But as a band,
As a band, yes.
Sure,
know?
but Australia's had video shows since the 60s.
You know, it's the only way we could see acts from overseas, because no one ever came to Australia. So it's quite normal, you know. And, you know, yeah, we love it. I think it's a great medium.
How do you feel when you look back at your old videos? Speaking of age.
Very embarrassed sometimes.
Is it?
Yeah.
What makes you cringe? What is it about them?
I don't know, because you're still, it's weird to grow up in public and you know, you're still finding yourself. It's just like looking back at a yearbook or something from your school and going, what was I thinking, what was I doing? Old photos, you know. But it's magnified into a video.
I think video is just part of music now, and that's that. I think it's great. I mean, if it wasn't for video, you wouldn't have, the edge of technology and experimentation wouldn't exist. It's a pretty simple song. It's about kids and conditioning, growing up, how you grow up if you grow up through other people's ideas or your own.
They had the Civil War and everything, but really, when you look at it on the whole, they really haven't sorted that problem out at all, have they? You know, I mean, even when it comes down to music, you know, in America, you've got your heavy metal sort of music here, and then, you know, and everything has to be categorized and, like, you know, sort of segregated, you know? And that's a shame in a multicultural society, you know? I think radio in America should play everything. I think it should play black music. I think it should play, you know, it should play hip-hop, heavy metal, thrash music, you know, classical music, you know? Educate people, you know? I mean, that's the perfect world, though, I suppose, and it seems we're a long way from that.
Did you guys talk amongst yourself going, radio programmers are going to steer clear of this one?
Well, we did, but they didn't, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it would obviously concern us, but then again, to us, it's fairly obvious that the song has nothing to do with suicide. It just, I mean, you know, in that form, it's about people colouring their hair and you know, dyeing their hair so they dye with their own hands, you know. That's.
But I was surprised that nobody ever really came down on it. So, because, you know, all this thing about censorship and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. We're lucky, I guess.
Did you expect that?
No, I didn't want that, because it's a really good video.
It's a brilliant
I want people to see it, you know. So why don't you play it? The problem with it is I understand that possibly 12-year-olds don't want to see me tied up with some woman crawling all over me. And people sucking Gary's toes and da-da-da-da-da. You know, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon or something. I can sort of understand that, you know. But at the same time, video is now our tools. They're guitars and keyboards and drums to us. The camera has become that for most bands. If we're stifled in that, we might have to invent a new medium to show this art in.
Yeah.
You know, almost. There might have to be a station that's general viewing, and then a station for as far as you can take this stuff, because it hasn't even got as far as it can go. We got a good reaction to that overall. We're talking about how much pressure women get from magazines to do this and be this and do that, when they should just be themselves and stop listening to people telling them what to be, you know, and driving themselves insane or killing themselves in the process, and kind of out of that conversation, we said, well, maybe we can say something about that, you know. And INXS isn't really known for that kind of thing, and I thought that it was timely to do that, you know.
Which do you think is your best video?
The
one that actually...
I think What You Need is excellent. I think it was a really good one.
It's the first album we've done that I can listen to myself and not go, or I wish we had done that, or we could have done this, or I wish we had more time or money or whatever. This one, we really took our time, and we're all happy with every song on it.
It was great that the world turned around and liked it all at once, you know. It wasn't really a shock. To be honest, it was like, yeah, okay, you know, seems right. I mean, you know, when you're out there touring for 13 years, it's not too much of a surprise or something that you'd be too shocked about. It was great. It was fantastic.
It's the most highly critically acclaimed album we've ever done. It must have been one of the best reviews of any album all year, which seemed to be the kiss of death. You know, so don't ask me. I think in some ways it's because there's a lot of other music out there that people are exploring, and you tend to be, you know, sort of just excuse me for a moment, and then you come back again, and that happens. And also,
we didn't tour straight away, you know, and people are just used to us being here and going bang, 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 as soon as we put out a record, and we knew that was going to sort of happen. So, you know, that's the price you pay if you want to make more music and go in the studio. Yeah. Which is a pity, but we're happy with the album. We're really happy about the reviews, so that's all that matters, really.
As soon as you feel that you're a failure because your albums aren't selling millions of records, and as soon as you feel like that, to me, you're not really doing it anymore, because that's not really what it's all about. You should enjoy what you're doing.
Well, the thing I find is that there's an incredible gap between what is purported to be the hard facts, you know, given to us. Even when we're being conned constantly. There's a big sham going on.
You are being ripped off. The public is ripped off. You are paying money for fat cats to get fatter on our images, which I should get 10% for every time someone takes a bloody photograph, and every time somebody writes a lie.
We love you!
I think you killed her.
When I go shopping for groceries, you know, I put on a baseball cap and my sunglasses and a T-shirt and jeans, you know. When Michael goes shopping for groceries, he's wearing full leathers, you know, maybe on a Harley Davidson without a helmet, you know. I mean, like, you know, I mean, what do you expect, you know? But that's the way he lives. He doesn't want to compromise, you know.
Everywhere else, it's not too bad, but London, you just get shanghaied by these guys and exploited, and they make it up as they go along if they can't find it, and it's just terrible.
Do you ever think about leaving and going back to Australia?
Yeah, yeah, I'd love to. Eventually, but you know, I don't think you should live your life being pushed around by people either, you know, so we'll see.
How would you describe him?
I describe him as Michael Hutchence. I don't think any of us ever got into the Doors, which is a funny thing that he's been described as Jim Morrison all through his career, because none of us have got a Doors record, I know that. But I don't know, I think it's sort of stupid that people keep comparing him to anybody, because he's, you know, we've released, like, we've done 6 albums and like 10 tours of America, and people still have to feel they have to compare him to other people, especially dead people. Why compare people, you know, well, Jim Morrison's dead, Michael Hutchence is happening, you know, like, why compare him to someone dead?
And we want people to really, you know, understand that we're a band, you know, we're not a supporting band behind Michael Hutchence. That's just the way it is, so we're keen to press that home. But I think now, you know, the sort of, you know, I think that mission is fairly well accomplished, and I don't think we have to worry about it anymore. And if people want to focus on Michael, no one really gives a hoo-ha anymore.
What a horrible job it'd be to be a front man of any band. You know, if you were looking in the want ads and you're trying to find a front man, okay, first of all, you got a guy who can write and can sing well, but then you have to have a guy who has an attitude, who's prepared to be out there all the time,
Being able to take the stage with so much confidence, with so many people looking, and to be unself-conscious again.
Yeah, I don't know, honestly, one of my secrets is I'm blind as a bat, and I cannot see them. And I've got contact lenses once. This is, a lot of lead singers have this, I've asked around. And, and I've got contacts once, and I was horrified, you know. And I ripped them out on stage and lost them somewhere on the stage before I could continue.
To be famous and to be a front person for a band, you know, you need a certain level of self-confidence to pull it off, you know, so you've really got to live the life. And I don't think for Michael it's very easy for him to sort of, you know, put on his rock star outfit or whatever and suddenly become Michael Hutchence. You know, he just is Michael Hutchence, and that's just the way he lives his life. So what you see is really the real picture, you know, that is him, that's the way he lives.
I know what it's like, in some ways, what it's like to be hit on as a woman would, you know? In some ways, I have an empathy with it. And the pressure's put on you to be a certain way, this role, this cartoon.
A lot of musicians who come out of England these days are still very sort of bisexual or ambisexual in a sense. Yeah. And your band is absolutely, undeniably, unambivalently male. Is that an Australian thing?
Jesus Christ. It is a fairly macho place, I suppose, but it's changed a lot. I mean, God, 10 years ago it was a totally different place than it is now. And the whole society has changed, especially young people have really changed.
Yep, that's true. Sorry, this is it, look. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. We have to go on stage now, that's it.
Now.
Really sorry about this.
Goodbye.
It's one of the few shows where anybody can get up, the non-pros can get up and have a bit of fun, you know. I just felt like doing it, you know, try it out, see what Elena goes through, you know.
I want to ask what the fascination is with rock stars and models.
I don't know. I mean, you know, we're just two people. We just happen to meet each other. But I mean, apart from that, you know, we don't sort of look at each other with headlines about each, you know, like, you're that and I'm this. But we met on the telephone. I mean, we talked for, we were on tour, remember? I was talking to Elena for like 2 months on the telephone. I didn't even really know who she was when I first talked to her. Someone set us up.
So I'm really happy for the both of them. I mean, I'm a bit jealous, but, you know. No, it is. It's wonderful. I mean, I like it when everyone in the band's happy and happy in love, you know. It's a wonderful thing. Michael, unfortunately, for him, you know, because he's the front man and he's the focal point of the band, he can't go anywhere without sort of, you know, it's him, you know, sort of thing. And so people that end up in that situation tend to hang out with other people in that situation.
Very nice, very tight group. They've been together for a long time. But basically, I felt good people. You know, and I ask around a little bit, you know, and of course you find out, well, Michael's a bit of a partier and he likes his ladies and this kind of thing.
We weren't really ever groupie kind of guys, you know. We never really been into that groupie thing, you know. The acid wash mini skirts, white cowboy boots thing, you know. We just went into it. And we're probably lucky in a way, you know. We're just more into, you know, if we were meeting women, we were meeting women, you know, and not, I don't like that sort of exploitation of some sort of, I don't know, it's just stupid, you know, it's too cliche.
It was trouble waiting to happen. I remember, you know, being at a bar with him in Marbella when we were in Spain, right? And it was it was like a bar where a lot of high rollers were hanging out. And I would say within 15 minutes of walking into that bar, Michael had a thing going with the girl behind the bar who was engaged to some multi-million-dollar drug dealer from God knows where, and there was friction already there. I mean, we were in there 15 minutes, you know, and so, you know, you look at Andrew and he goes, well, you know, this is the price you pay for being the front man in this band.
Well, we went out last night.
Yeah, we sure did.
And we went right out. And it's a good place for a party. Brazilians they're worse than us, you know. We're trying to keep up with them. They're crazy.
After we were done in the studio, if Michael wanted to go out and party, which he did a number of times, that's fine. But he was there next day, ready to go. Lyrics were done. He was a great singer. When he was singing, he was right on. And just a perfect guy to work with. And, you know, he was never afraid to take chances when he was singing. He was one of those kind of singers that doesn't come in and kind of do what he's done on a song at rehearsals. Every time he sang a song, it was always a little different, you know, in his delivery. And some of them went way south and didn't work. Others were fabulous, you know, like one-of-a-time, you know, kind of performances.
The one thing about INXS that's kept us together is we've all been capable of controlling each other's egos, or, you know, or most of them anyway, and that kind of thing. And I think that's really helped, because I think most of the problems people have with fame is simply an inbuilt one.
Baby, you can drive my car.
How's it going?
Yes, I'm gonna be a star.
Yes, I'm going to be a star. I think most people think on the other side of cameras or on the other side of radio stations, they think that you're somehow larger than life. In actual fact, you're just as mortal and as crazy and messed up as everybody else. And I think the reality is that for most folks who do this, that's the big secret, is getting a handle on that and then realizing what those essentials are. And I know my life and my family and friends become more and more important now. It's one of those crazy old statements, but it's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're focusing on those things, and we've been together 20 years as a group.
We've been together 30 years as friends.
Yeah, but you come in and out of things, and then Michael's got his own life, I got my own life outside of the group, and that's incredibly healthy.
Do you have any kids?
No, I don't. As far as I know. No, I would love to have some.
Children give you a strange energy. Sort of this noblesse oblige comes over you, and you do things for someone else. And children are the greatest reason on earth to do anything.
The amount of experience that you go through in doing what we do is many lifetimes in some ways, you know. The problem is holding on to something, a fixed point, for long enough to understand it and get something from it.
Yeah.
That's the difficult part. So time to reflect is probably my most important times. When we're not doing anything, to be able to stop and think about what you've done or achieved and stuff. But otherwise, you know, it's kind of zoom, 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 really.
The funny thing is with time is that, and rock and roll, is that everybody wants to ask 20-year-olds their thoughts on God, love, politics, money, etc. in the universe, and they don't even know what they're talking about. And by the time you get to 32, you got the stuff worked out. No one cares.
Right.
So ever since Elvis got his hands on rock and roll, he made it a youth-orientated and certainly sexually orientated, which I have no problem with, but a youth-orientated music, like folk music, really. And it was, everybody listened to it and everybody was getting into it, you know? And since then, white boys can't get old, you know? You're not allowed to, or very rarely. You got to die around 26 in a car accident, you know, or something.
It's an indulgent kind of world that you live in, and it indulges you to be that way.
Well, they expect you to be that way, though, too.
People don't mind if you kill yourself. They're quite happy about that. It's bizarre. There's not many other things like that. So, yeah.
It's like when you work in the newsroom and someone dies, you know, there's almost like, someone died today, we've got a lead story.
Great, lead story, yeah. Yeah, well, I hope I don't become a lead story.
I hope you don't do it.
Music is not a means to an end. It's what we do, you know? This is what we do, regardless. It's not just how you get to be famous or how you get to make money. That really is an end product of, if it so happens that it goes that way, of it as well. You have to really take a step back from yourself a lot, you know? Make a hobby to be normal or something. Because if you don't, you lose what you started with, you know? It's simple as that.
Stay tuned, watch that, and we'll be back with more.
You are back with Rick the Temp and INXS to my extreme right here. You guys, thanks for coming.
Hey, our pleasure, yeah.
Your first time in the Much Music environment?
No.
You've been here before?
Oh, yeah. We've never done this before, though.
You've never performed
First time with this guitar.
Wow.
In fact, ladies and gentlemen.
Very honored. This is the new one. Let's show it right off the bat. Elegantly Wasted is the name of it. In stores Tuesday, April 15th. So go pick it up if you're out there, if you like the stuff. Now, this one was done in Vancouver?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
We spent about a month in Vancouver, yeah. A lot of it was done actually in sort of while Andrew and I were writing it, just in hotel rooms and stuff.
Yeah.
Just kept the recordings, you know.
Yeah. What's different about this new record from previous?
The new one.
It's
the new one. Well, I don't know. It's kind of two-sided, you know.
Yeah.
In parts of it's, you know, it's kind of that INXS funk, you know, thing and you know, attitude stuff.
Yeah.
And part of it's more, but fresh. I mean, I think it's a really fresh record for us.
Yeah.
And we're happy with it, you know.
I keep forgetting to introduce people, so let's do that now. Let's do some names now.
Okay.
Do you mind doing that?
Sure.
Starting right here.
I'm Tim and I'm a Leo.
I'm Michael and I'm Aquarius.
I'm Kirk. I'm just that.
He's Gravy. Good to meet you. And we need a handheld mic.
Oh, hi.
Boys in the back.
My name's Andrew Farris, and that's...
The Backline Boys.
John Farris. And I'm a Leo. Gary Beers.
Okay, guys.
Not a vegetarian.
Okay. Well, it's good meeting you. You can hang on to that, Gary.
Oh, thanks.
To that.
I'm not going to sing.
Is there such a state of being elegantly wasted, or would the state be like obnoxiously wasted?
More of a province, really.
More of a province, yeah.
Where
Yeah, short, you know. We all try. We're professionals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do everything elegantly.
And you've been there before, or?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We've had our moments.
We've had your moments.
Yeah.
In the liner notes, this is really cool. I don't. The people will get to see this coming Tuesday. But there's some nice Firebirds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were good anyway before we got hold of them.
Yeah, they used to be.
Do they belong to one of you guys?
All of us.
Yeah.
These belong to? Yeah.
I got a door at home. Kirk's got the trunk.
No, we got a bunch of them to make up this album. We had a good time making the cover up. Sort of made this world, you know. And it's a trip.
It was the most fun we ever had making an album cover. It really was. Yeah.
This was done in L.A.
Yeah.
Yeah,
LA,
in the desert,
out in
and
the
in
desert.
LA, and
Being around for like so many years, I think it'll be 20 years this coming August 17th.
Yep.
1977. Do you ever have troubles coming up with new material or new stuff? Do you ever sit there like just thinking?
I mean, there's a lot. We all have really different tastes and opinions about certain things. So you know, sometimes it's just a big argument to see which direction we really want to go in. You know, that's all.
Yeah.
And then we go there. You know, and on this one, this album just went click, click, click.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's great.
We actually spent the most time ever writing this record.
Yeah.
That's one of the differences with the others.
How long?
Well, basically
9 months.
9 months for Andrew and Michael to write it. But they
2
did
weeks,
it casually
2 weeks to record it.
Is that right?
Yeah, just about.
It wasn't like 9 months of hard writing, was it, Champs? It was
Well,
weekends here. And
not for you.
No, definitely not for me.
You guys have been together. Like, there's no new members. The original 6 are here in front of us.
Yeah.
How do you like, do you get on each other's backs once in a while, or can you put up with each other?
No, mate, not in Australia.
Please. Has it been?
Depends what you mean.
Yeah.
You mean the beast with 6 packs?
Like, you've made it this far, so I'm sure,
Yeah.
like...
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, we all get on each other's backs now and then, you know.
It's a real bummer being the bottom guy.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Completely flattened out.
Yeah, exactly.
I've always been dying to ask this question to an Australian.
Don't ask it.
You're coming from Sydney.
Yeah.
You're familiar with Australian rules football?
Oh, yeah.
What's with the tight shorts on the guys?
So they look sexy.
Is that right?
Because
It's not
they're He-Men.
I don't know.
Real
We
men.
believe in showing what we're made of.
Yeah, you know, there's less protection, the better, you know.
But how do they
It's a
move?
man sport. You know?
But it looks like they're running fast.
Yeah.
They are.
They can't bend over in them.
They can't bend over on these things.
Yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't
To be
work.
honest, most Australians wonder the same thing.
Yeah.
Is that right?
It's a Melbourne thing. It's Australian rules.
We're from Sydney.
We're from Sydney.
Oh, I see.
We
But
play.
Sydney has a team, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
do.
we
And
do
they,
now,
they
yeah.
came second this year. Which is,
That's right.
But they have slightly bigger shorts. So I guess it helps.
There's an advantage. Have you guys ever played?
Yeah, I grew
Yeah,
up
I
playing.
actually
love
played
it,
before one of the major games.
Is that right?
At the Sydney Cricket Ground just recently for a charity thing. And,
Did you? And Kirk kicked a goal.
and I kicked a goal, but mind you, when I kicked this goal, I'd just been like rumbled on and my glasses got broken, right? So I had no glasses and I kicked a goal. It was great. I'm blind as a bat.
just shows how
I don't know how-
difficult
I think I must have thought I was kicking it to a guy, but it was actually the posts, you know.
Tall, skinny guy.
Yeah.
Well
It's
done.
the wrong end of the field, though.
Good one, Ken.
And then one of the funniest things about that sport, aside from the shorts, those refs at the end, they go like this.
They go,
Yeah, isn't that funny? I
The
know.
thumbs.
Oh, the thumbs.
Yeah, it's like,
That
that's a goal.
means good kick.
Yeah, goal.
That means goal.
Go! Go!
Is that what's that?
We need to lose some weight because these guys.
How big?
We're gonna do back with INXS, and over the years, there's been a lot of exposure on your private lives.
Hold on.
Hey, what's going on there?
Sorry about that.
Kirk's doing up the fly, being analyzed, being criticized. Is there ever a time when you guys just want to walk away from it all and forget about it, or
In fact, that's it. We're leaving.
you leave it
That's
now?
it, yeah. Nah, you know, you don't get into it. It's like if if you give up because you're selling a few less million records, or
Right.
we do it because we kind of we do what we believe in.
you know.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll be down.
Roll with the punches, you know.
We'll be down if we let somebody outside of
Anyway,
split us up.
Yeah, and you know, and critics have a job to do. Are we keeping them in work? You know, everyone needs a job.
That's true.
We all need one.
We need one. They need one. So it's, you know, it's like, you know, we're in this together. You know.
Did Michael? This is going to be directed right at you.
Okay.
A few years back, did you invest some money into a movie for reasons of a tax break?
We all did.
No, we all did. Yeah.
Okay. If my information is correct, is that Crocodile Dundee?
Yeah.
Is that the movie?
Yeah. We didn't think it was gonna.
You
do
did
that
big
great.
mistake.
I mean, you know.
It was our first royalty check. It's a stupid story. I mean, I don't know how to get around, but anyway, it was funny. It was our first royalty check, and we had to get rid of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so Paul and his manager tried to, you know, give us a script, and we thought it was a pretty, you know, funny film and everything. But you got a tax break, you know, from the government, and you know, especially those days. That's why we have a lot of Australian film. So we were trying to invest in Australian film, but we ended up with a much bigger problem in the end than we envisaged.
Millions and millions of dollars. That
was. It did well, yeah.
Now, do you feel partially responsible for the Australian stereotype, like the shrimp on the Barbie and all that?
I think it was all Paul, really. Paul Hogan.
It was all Paul, yeah.
I don't know, you know.
Besides, they're called prawns anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
yeah.
Not only that, not only that, they are really good on the Barbie.
They are.
No, there's a lot about Australian life that is, you know, sunshine and barbecues and people going around. It's very spontaneous and very casual, and that's a great thing about it, you know.
Much like Canadian.
Unlike here, it's very outdoors.
Well, is that right? Yeah.
I think so.
But at the same time, it's become a very sophisticated and cosmopolitan place as well. You know, incredible actually. In a couple of years, what's happened?
Yeah. Very nice place. Very nice place.
Yeah.
Huge coastline.
Yes.
If you go on a beach, it's a good place to be. Yeah.
Are you surfers?
I am. I still surf. Yeah.
On the internet, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of that whole internet, World Wide Web?
It's great. I mean, we're going through the communication revolution in a sense. You know?
You're kidding.
I mean, you know, from mobile phones to the internet, it's, you know, I mean, in a way, I think it's a really good thing because I think communication solves a lot of the world's problems. You know.
Yeah. Oh,
you know.
of course.
I mean,
on the other side of the
everyone
coin,
can find out your credit card number now.
Yeah. On the other side of the coin, it was invented by the U.S. military, so.
Is that right?
So it's easy to hack into.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Do you guys have a website for INXS?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Out there?
Yeah,
it's just actually being put together now. I don't know if it's up and running
this week.
There's a few unofficial ones as well. They're all worth checking out.
Yeah, I think someone behind me here has one on the internet.
Do we have?
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Hi.
Hi, Web.
Now,
Dot.
You guys come from a generation which there aren't many survivors left. I'm talking big bands like U2, R.E.M., Depeche Mode,
Cure.
The Cure.
Yeah, they're still around.
What do you make of all this?
Well, it's good. There isn't that many left, I guess. I mean, we're 70s bands, really. We keep on getting leveled this 80s thing, but really we're from 77 when, stuck between punk and disco we were born, and that makes for unusual bands, and
also one of our biggest albums was in the 90s, which was X. So
yeah.
I guess we could be here. I think we're like 70s, 80s, 90s band.
I think we're all bands that are kind of interested in the possibilities,
Well, you know what? Don't stop. Keep giving it your all. Sounds great.
I think you should change the name of the station to
change the name.
Hutch Music.
Good idea, Clint.
Hutch Music. We're gonna.